Hello, Hannah Chelsea, the baby maven here, and I am so excited to welcome you to today's expert interview. You're going to get so much out of our interview today, and I know that you're just going to love our guest expert. Luciana Naldi is a self-care coach for mothers, happily married and a mom to two sets of twins, ages 3 and 5. She combines her background and education in teaching, nutrition, and movement with wicked wit and genuine encouragement to help mothers establish healthy habits and a positive and empowering mindset. She believes mothers and children can thrive together and that you don't have to sacrifice one for the other. Luciana is super awesome. So on that note, I'm going to pass it over to her so she can tell us a bit more about herself and how she got into the biz.
Hi.
Hey!
That was an amazing introduction. Thank you. Okay, so yes, I guess my story kind of starts when I was a teacher. I was a teacher for about 10 years. I got married at the age of 30. I had my first set of twins at the age of 31, and I had my second set of twins at the age of 33. It's the only time in my life I've ever been pregnant. It was unassisted by medicine, and it was a big shock both times, but an incredible blessing, and it has changed so much in my life. As a result of having my second set of twins, I quit working. I quit my career, which I loved, and I became a stay-at-home mom. And my business was really born out of the struggles and the things that I discovered about myself as a result of becoming a stay-at-home mom. I had these visions and images of what it would be like to do that, and while some of it was what I expected, a lot of it was not. And so it challenged me mentally, it challenged me physically, and because I wanted to be better for my children, I decided that I needed to seek out help and seek out answers with what I was struggling with. And I really was my first client. So the self-care part was the thing that I struggled with the most, having, a litter of children running around. That was very challenging. So yeah, my business was born out of my survival and how I learned to thrive and move forward past that. So
I love that. I think it's so cool that you created a business out of a need that you felt first.
yeah.
And I know that you said one of the things that you really needed to focus on was self-care. And so now you are a self-care coach. And I was hoping you could share with our audience, what actually that means. Because I think a lot of people don't truly know, what all self-care encompasses.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think that people have this image of self-care as being the physical part. So you think self-care and you think I need to eat healthy, I need to move frequently, and those are absolutely vital components. But the 4 areas of self-care really are the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional. And the ones that I was not that aware of, or I didn't know how to deal with, were like the emotional and the mental and the spiritual. And that's all, based on your thoughts, what you believe, and that influences the actions that you take. And so I like to use the analogy that your brain is like a car. Everybody understands that you fuel your body with good food and you put things into it and it's going to run efficiently. Well, the same is true of the things that you put in your brain. So like the thoughts and the words and the images and the things you listen to, if they're positive and they're uplifting and they're empowering, then that's what you're going to believe about yourself. And so surrounding yourself with those people at as much in your life as you can is really what determines what you believe about yourself. And I personally, I came from a huge family, a big Italian family, and I played sports my whole life. I played, collegiate basketball, and it was always, one of the things that was always ingrained in me was if something was hard, then you just get tougher. And I remember my dad, when I was pregnant the second time with the twins, I was sick for both pregnancies, the whole 9 months. And I remember I just wanted my mom, because she was comforting to me. Even, I was in my 30s, but I still just wanted my mom. My dad was like, you just need to get tougher. You're not the first person to have a baby. You're not the first person to do this. And for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a weakling, And I think that a lot of mothers feel that if you need help, that it makes you weak. And that's not true. I mean, we teach our children, if you need help, to ask for help. Why doesn't the same apply to us? And so for me, that was one of the things that I needed to learn as a mom. And I want to communicate to new mothers is that needing help is okay. It doesn't make you weak. It's not something to be ashamed of. It is a necessity for you to be as strong as you want to be for your children. And it shows your children that it's okay to ask for help. You know, telling them one thing but living something different can be confusing for children. So the things that you put in your mind and the things that you believe are absolutely just as vital as the food you put in your body. You know, I hope that makes sense.
It does. I really, really love that that comparison, because it does make sense when you start to put it into terms like that, where you're like, well, obviously, if you're, you know, like how you would fuel a car, you need to fuel your mind and you need to fuel your body, and there's lots of different types of like fuel that you might need. And I know one of the things that you just said was part of that is getting the support that you need and being able to reach out for it, and that it's more than okay to ask for help. It's like, it makes you an even better parent when you do that, or just a better person in general, or a better businesswoman, whatever it is in your life when you are kind of feeling out of your depths. Like, of course, ask for help. And so I thought maybe we could go into talking about, you had mentioned like building your dream team.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I want to one of the things I just want to address one thing about being needed and needing help. It's like this paradox of motherhood that you are absolutely needed in the first months of your child's life. I mean, they depend on you, but you are also very needy yourself. So one of the ways that you can really get the support you need is by building a dream team of people. And when I first started searching for ways to kind of become who I wanted to be and improve myself, I read a lot of personal development. And in personal development, they tell you that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. And when you become a new mother, those people that are closest to you and what they say and what they do and how they support you are so vital. And that is your dream team. And how you know those people are truly there for you and, like Oprah says, rooting for your rise is by the actions and the things that they ask you. So like if you have people around you who are asking you questions like, what can I do to support you? What do you need? How can I make this easier for you? And generally asking you questions that are supportive and encouraging and positive, instead of things like, well, you should have this all figured out already. Or, well, my mother didn't need any help. Or I did it without any help. You can do it without any help too. Like, those are very different ways of approaching a mindset with a new mother. And the best people that you can have around you are the ones that truly are there to support you and your needs, free of judgment, free of criticism, free of the expectations that they have for you, which can be really challenging, you know, and sorting out those people in the beginning can also be challenging because you have those thoughts for yourself. I don't think that there's any mother who goes into it who doesn't have like expectations of what she wants to do. And it can feel like you need to have it all figured out. It can feel like, well, I'm supposed to know this because now the baby's out and I'm a mom and woo, I just know. And that doesn't always happen. And it's okay that it doesn't always happen. I mean, you're human. You've never done it before. This is the first time. So reserve those judgments. And that's a huge part of self-care also, is releasing the criticisms, the judgments, the expectations, and the things that you feel you should have figured out or you should know just because you gave birth. Give yourself a break. There's no like magic thing that drops into your brain that says, poof, you're an expert. It just doesn't work that way. You know, it comes through experience and support and trial and error and believing that no matter what, you know what's best for your child above everyone else.
That's awesome. And with you talking about the dream team, I thought of 2 different questions to kind of go along with that. Is there like a certain time when it makes the most sense to start building your dream team? Like can you start building it during pregnancy, or is like your dream team during pregnancy and then new parenthood potentially different? Like people who were really supportive and had your back during pregnancy maybe are not the ones who are as helpful during new parenthood? That was question number one.
Okay, no, that's a great question. Okay. Absolutely. Okay, let me address that one first, and then I'll get to the second one. I think that it depends on what areas you need the most help. So for a mom, you need to look at, where am I going to struggle the most? Because if you can anticipate where you're going to have the hardest time, then you can develop a strategy to combat that before it happens. And it's a constant learning process. So like maybe in the beginning, you don't know that you're going to be as tired as, you know, super tired, or you don't know that you're not going to have time to get to the dishes, to get to the laundry, to do all that stuff. Putting people in place who are willing to help you do those things and anticipating that, you know what, this may be something that I have a hard time with, that's kind of how you start to build your dream team, is just anticipating the things that you know you're going to struggle doing. If you already don't like cooking dinner before, or cooking at all before you have a baby, there's a good chance you're not going to want to do it even more when you're tired and when you're trying to breastfeed. So having somebody give you meals or deliver meals or have them brought to you, plan your meals, cook them, that would be an integral part of your dream team for you. But you can start building it at any point in time. It will evolve as the baby grows, as your seasons of motherhood kind of change, and their needs change and your needs change. I mean, it's a constant checking in and reassessing with yourself. Okay, what do I need physically? What do I need mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to really be present and be my best self and be the kind of mom that I want to be? You know, good question.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that actually made me think when you said about like people, you know, if you don't like cooking now, you're probably going to like it even less once you have this, you know, tiny baby in your life that you want to spend so much time with, but that also needs so much of your time. So I'm guessing that you might also have a dream, like your dream team might also encompass things like those like food delivery service people, and maybe like it could include maybe like a cleaning lady, and maybe they're not like the dream team in the sense that they're offering you like the emotional support that you need, where like maybe family and friends could do that, but that they could be like these auxiliary dream team, like, you know, we bring in the pinch hitter who will do this, because nobody wants to clean. I mean, unless that's like your stress release or something like that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That is an excellent point. It does not have to be people offering you emotional support. I mean, it could be anybody who is providing any kind of service that is going to help you function optimally as a parent and be healthiest, happiest that you can be as a person. Absolutely.
Very cool. So I actually wound up coming up with one more question about the dream team.
Awesome.
Do you have any suggestions, or did you wind up dealing with anybody who like wound up being like I don't know how to put it other than like kind of like a bad member of your team, like in early parenthood? I mean, you know, that like, or at least during your pregnancy, you said that your dad was kind of like, yeah, people have done this before, you can do this, you know, like toughen up, it's just a pregnancy. Like, do you have any suggestions for if during pregnancy or new parenthood, our viewers are hit with kind of that aunt who's kind of like, oh, well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, and they're not a part of your dream team, but they're very present. I don't know if you've had to deal with that, but I was just kind of curious.
Actually, yes. So I had early on some friends and some family members who every time they would see me, they would say things like, oh, you must be so tired. You must be, how are you doing? It must just be so hard for you. And I know that their intentions were good, but for me, I want to look at the positive side. I want to be asked, like, how can I support you? And, you know, what can I do to help make this easier for you? And so the way that I dealt with people that were not necessarily on the same energetic level as I was, not quite with the same mindset, was by setting boundaries. And this can be something that is challenging as a new mom, because you bring the babies home, or baby, and everybody wants to come over and see them. And it's okay for you to say, no, I just want some time. It's okay for you to say, if somebody wants to take the babies and you trust them, and you don't want to hang out with anyone, it's okay too. So the number one thing I can say is learn your boundaries and don't be afraid to verbalize them. Like, one of the things that motherhood does for you is you are the advocate for your child. So it seems really easy, like, to set boundaries for what is okay and what's not okay with your kid. Like, that's pretty black and white for a lot of mothers. Like, this is not okay for you to treat my kid this way. This is not okay for this to happen. But we have a much harder time doing it with ourselves. And it's almost like we feel guilty saying, no, this is my boundary. And if we allow people to cross it, we feel like we've betrayed ourselves. So if you have people that are not 100% on the same level as you, even if they're well-meaning, well-intentioned, but being around them does not support you, does not lift you up, does not give you what you need, then set a boundary with them and just be like, you know what, I appreciate your intentions, but I need some space right now to figure this out because this is new for me. And it doesn't have to be done in like a mean-spirited way, but by you saying, verbalizing and saying, no, I need this boundary, this is what's okay, you'll gain confidence in your own abilities to keep doing it. And you'll trust yourself more. And those are two really important things with being a mom, you know, not doubting that you know what's best for you know what's best for your child, and you're willing to follow through and take those actions, even when it's hard, because there will be some difficult decisions and actions to take. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And actually, I think that might kind of just segue right into, I wanted to talk about how to overcome overwhelm and prevent it. And I feel like maybe this is also a key to being able to prevent overwhelm. But I'd love your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Okay, so the number one key to overcoming overwhelm is focus. Okay, so we get overwhelmed because we either have too many expectations of ourselves, we're trying to do too many things, we're saying yes to a bunch of things that we really want to say no to, so we're not really in congruence with what we believe. And that causes us to feel guilty, it causes us to have all these other emotions. So in the moment, like, people are crying, there maybe is like body fluids everywhere, things are not going well, things are flying across the room. In that moment, number one is to think, what is most important for me right now? What can I control? What action can I take right now to make this better? And to take a deep breath and do that one thing. It just has to be that one thing. And it can be hard if you're used to functioning, you know, in distraction or in chaos and screaming and is happening. But I guarantee that if you are able to whittle it down to what is most important, what is my focus, what is my priority, then you are going to have a much easier time putting down the things that are not important for the things that are. And in those first few months, you are most important. The bond you have with your child is most important. And meeting each other's needs is most important. So if it doesn't apply to that, then down, and it can be dealt with. And to prevent it in the future, it's all about strategy. It's all about like anticipating the areas where you're going to need help, where you think you might get overwhelmed, like we talked about, and putting those dream team people in place to support you. Nobody does anything alone. There's nobody on the planet who does anything all by themselves. And it's almost kind of sad that needing somebody is seen as a sign of weakness in a lot of ways, and it's not. I mean, it's just as courageous. I love Brene Brown. She writes this book. It's called Rising Strong, and it's all about rising when when you're in that moment and you don't know what to do, how you rise out of it. And one of the things that she talks about is being needed and also being needy. And she says that it's a paradox of life that we say that this is not a good thing, but it is. It is a good thing because it's just as courageous to offer help and as it is to receive it. Switch that around. That was not my correct quote. It's courageous to ask for help as it is to offer it. And I believe that to be absolutely true, more so in motherhood than any other time I've known in my life. So.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's very true. I mean, and even, it is such a shame that there's kind of this idea that to say that, you know, like even to call yourself like needy can be is seen as like a negative thing. Like when you ask for help, that it's a weakness and stuff like that, because I feel like it kind of just like makes sense with the flow of things, that like when you have this tiny new person in your life and you are giving them so much love and support and guidance and devoting so much of yourself to them, that it would make a lot of sense if like with the flow that somebody else was there helping to replenish you and what you need and supporting you. And like, I mean, if you want to think about it this way, which was something that I just recently started thinking about, even just in a business sense, was that it's not, you have like, you know, this area of genius that you have, and you have this passion, and maybe that's motherhood, maybe that's something else, but no matter what, like this is a brand, like if you're a first-time parent, this is a brand new experience. Like there's nothing else that can totally prepare you for this. So it's like actually very brave to kind of reach out and be like, hey, I could use the support. And in doing so, you're also kind of giving back to other people by asking them for their help, which I know it can sound kind of funny, but like if you hire a cleaning lady, you're supporting her business. If you invite your mom to come and give you some love and support you, you're giving her that time to be a mom with you and to be a grandma. That like, it's not like this one-way street that is a negative thing. It's actually kind of like a very beautiful group thing that you can create. And especially at a time like when you have a brand new baby, that can be such a wonderful experience, I think, to just kind of create those connections and have that like warm bubble of like support around you. I just went off on a long tangent.
No, that's cool. That's good. Go, girl.
So I know that probably our viewers are very curious about the fact that you have two sets of twins, and just kind of like how you function and have like this awesome business at the same time. So I was wondering if you could share with us kind of how you personally create balance or deal with the overwhelm of having 4 little kids that are all 5 and under, right?
Right, absolutely. So that's a great question. It's taken me some time to really focus on the things that are important to me and what make me most available, most healthy, and just most true to myself and for my children. So for me personally, I used to fall asleep watching TV. And that was just kind of a weird habit that I had in high school, I mean in college, you know, and I stopped doing that. I actually physically stopped watching TV, and I became much more conscious of the things that I put in my brain. I've always been super active, so like exercising is a part of my day. Eating healthy is a part of my day. I know how to do it. I teach it, so I know what physically makes me run at my highest level. But I wasn't always 100% confident in how to make my brain work at its highest level. So now I get up early. I usually get up, you know, between 5 and 6, and I used to exercise at that time because starting the day with movement for me energizes me. Like I love movement. I feel like I'm in my zone when I'm doing anything movement related. So that's something that makes me feel good. I do it before the kids are awake, which is not ideal for everybody, which I get. That's totally cool. And then I have a few minutes, usually half an hour, where I listen to about a 10 or 15 minute like guided meditation. And I know people think of meditation sometimes as like, oh, you know, we sit calmly and there's like sounds of beautiful music, and some of that works for me, but what really works for me is setting a clear intention for the day and the kind of energy I want to have for the day. So I love Louise Hay. I've listened to a couple of Deepak Chopra's, but Louise Hay is kind of my go-to to start the morning. And she has some short ones, like, you know, it doesn't even have to be 15 minutes. It could just be 10 minutes. And it's just putting those positive things in your mind so that when you start your day, you're like, okay, yeah, it's going to be an amazing day. No matter what happens, I can figure it out. And that's something else that through a lot of reading and personal development, I have established that kind of core belief in myself. And no matter what it is, I'm going to figure it out. And the balance comes from having the positive thoughts and understanding how to keep them even when things get hairy. It comes from making my physical self-care a priority, so exercising and eating in a way that makes me feel physically good. And really saying, yeah, you know what, could you watch the kids for a little bit? Or doing things that I know make me feel more whole. That's the other thing. Starting the business was a part of myself that I needed to do because I desperately missed it when I quit working and became a stay-at-home mom. And going from having a career to not having a career and becoming a mom, I hadn't anticipated the big hole that I would feel as a result of not being mentally stimulated. It didn't occur to me. I mean, I love Dr. Seuss, and I could, sing and rap Dr. Seuss forward and backward all day long, no problem. But I loved teaching. I loved interacting with people. I loved challenging them, empowering them, going on this journey with them of realization and education. And that, knowing that that's a part of me that I need to have nurtured every day, I put some kind of learning into my day. So instead of being distracted by like Facebook or TV, I mean, the TV is not on in our house during the week. It's just not something that I let my kids watch either, because I want them to have, images and stuff that are positive. But for my own balance, it's knowing what I need in all my 4 areas of self-care and reaching out when I need help, and then staying true to my boundaries and following through and staying true to myself and what's going to make me the best I can be, because then I can be better for my kids and I can be better for my clients. And I want to bring the best of what I do always. It's 100% true to me. It's the best I can do at that time in my life. And that's kind of the real reason. That was a longer answer, I'm sure, than you were anticipating. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I loved every second of it. I mean, and I know that our viewers are going to love it too, because it is. That's like the stuff that you get curious about. When you see somebody who is like totally rocking at being a parent, and then you realize that they have, 2 sets of twins. It's kind of like, tell me your secrets. Like, how do you do it? So that was a perfect answer. I loved it. And that's actually going to lead into the next thing that I was interested to know. If you could kind of go back to when you had your first set of twins, or when you were pregnant with the second, or had just had the second set, do you have advice that like you would have given your younger self at that time about parenting, or about how to manage, or whatever? Like, just if you could go back, what would you say?
Absolutely. If I could go back, I would tell myself that what you don't know, it's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you have the ability to figure it out. And that you are the one that knows yourself the best and knows your child the best. And listening and trusting yourself is probably the #1 thing. You can figure it out. Whatever it is, whatever you're struggling with, you can figure it out. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect at this because I've never done it. No one's perfect at it. And to believe in your own abilities, even when it feels like you're failing. Because really, every failure and every mistake is just like a redirection. You just because you make a mistake as a mother or as a person doesn't mean you are a mistake. It just means that way didn't work, so we try a different way. And as long as your child is safe and you are able to respond to them in the way that you want to, it's really going to be okay. And it's probably going to be better than okay. It's probably going to turn out in the most amazing ways that you never anticipated or even believed was possible, because you have to trust also in the universe and in the world around you, and just in that people are doing the best that they can, and you're one of those people. And the world is a good place, and it wants to see you succeed, and it's got your back. And that's a hard thing to believe when you're in the thick of it. But I would tell myself to just trust myself. You can figure it out. And it's going to take you places that you never would have imagined.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's like such a lovely, encouraging message to share with your younger self. I like that a lot. That has also kind of made me curious about the name of your business is Mama on a Mission, which I think is so cool. And when I heard it, I was like, yeah, like this makes me feel powerful, and it makes me feel like, all right, like I can do this. This is great. So I was kind of interested to know like what caused you to choose that name, or like what's your mission? What's your Mama on a Mission?
Okay, cool. Okay, so when I first started my business, I was on a mission to really discover myself, to kind of find what was going to make me the happiest, the healthiest, like reconnect me to the world in a way. And so Mama on a Mission was my own mission, my personal mission to put something beautiful and amazing into the world that was truly authentic to me, and also that was of service to others. And so in the course of my business, it evolved also into my mission to help other mothers. I didn't want other mothers to go through all the things that I went through mentally to get to where I was. Like, you can take a shortcut. I have shortcuts, I have strategies. Let me help you. Let me in there. So as my business evolves, my mission is always to put the best of me into the world to help somebody else. I mean, that's like the crux of it, the middle of it, the true heart of what I do is to help the mothers that I work with figure out what's going to make them the healthiest, happiest, and most able to respond to their children and be who they want to be. And as my business goes on, I know my mission will veer and shift a little bit, but it's really those two things combined. My mission to be my best self, my mission to continue to find the things that make me better, able to serve, and my mission to help other women feel and do the same things, to be their best selves.
Awesome. That's an incredible mission. And I'm very confident that a lot of our viewers are going to want to be able to know more about working with you. So could you give us kind of an idea of what that looks like how people can work with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I do all one-on-one client work right now, and I limit the number of people I work with on a monthly basis, just so I can actually be a mother and volunteer in the classroom and do all the things I want to do with my kids. So I do mostly 3 to 6 month stuff right now. So like the minimum amount of time that I work with somebody is 3 months, simply because I think we need that long to establish a relationship, and working on yourself is a process. Understanding yourself is a process, and it's not like a perfectly packaged cookie cutter thing that I give everybody. It all depends on what your areas of need are and how I can help you. So that's kind of the number one way to work with me, is to do it in a 3 or 6 month stint of time. And I have, let me think. I also have a single session package that I was offering before, which I have no problem offering again, and it for a new mom, which would be just basically like 1 hour, 2 hour session where we sit down and they say, I'm struggling with this. What strategies can you help me with? And those, I've done a bunch of those before. I like the 3 or 6 month better, but I understand because you're a mom, you may not have that time commitment available. So right now, those are the two kind of best options. I lean more towards the longer option just because you can really feel a bigger difference, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah. I mean, it is like change takes time. And also throughout that time, like you as a parent are going to kind of evolve, and maybe your questions or your concerns are going to change as well. So I can see that there'd be so much value in spending more time, because then you could like really dig deep and make lasting changes instead of kind of going and being like, yo, I want a quick fix, which I get. People need that sometimes too. So now I want to make sure, Luciana, that everybody has all of the like quick and dirty details about you and your business so that they can find you and connect with you. So we're going to start with, what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Luciana Naldi, Mama on a Mission, and I have a business page on Facebook. So if you just type in Luciana Naldi, Mama on a Mission, my business page will pop up. And my website is www.luciananaldi.com. and all my information is on that website. Schedules, how you can like book a phone call and we can talk if you want to, know more about me or just figure out if we fit together, that sort of a thing.
Wonderful. That's perfect. What would you say that you're all about?
I would say that I'm all about helping you or helping mothers really find what makes them happy, really find what makes them best able to parent, and figuring out real world ways to take actions while also being a mother. So like, I'm about empowerment, I'm about strength, I'm about happiness, I'm about, just being who you are at the highest level possible all the time so you can be the best mother possible.
That's wonderful. I love that. And so we're going to end with, what is one snippet of advice that you'd like to share with our viewers? Like if they're going to get one takeaway from today's interview, what would you like it to be?
Ooh, this is a hard one. There's so much I want to say. I would say that no matter what, you're going to be okay and you can figure it out. And whether that means reaching out for help or it means, trying to figure it out on your own, trial and error is awesome. Just believe that you're going to get where you need to be. What is meant for you as a mother, what's meant for you as a woman, what's meant for you in your life is not going to miss you. And if it does, it wasn't meant for you. So I would just say to trust yourself, do the best that you can, because that's all you can do. Do the best that you can, trust yourself, believe in your ability to figure it out, and it will all work out in the best way possible, and probably better than that.
That's incredible advice. So I also happen to know that you have some really, really cool freebies for all of our viewers. Could you tell us about them?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I have created 2 different self-care charts, and one is strictly self-care for the mom, and one is a self-care for babies and your house. And they're basically 2 charts to help you organize the areas that you need the most help so you can start putting your dream team of people in place. And they can be found, there's going to be a link in this at the bottom where you can get them. But basically what you do is you look at the area that you need help or that you're struggling with, and you write down the people that you're going to contact who can help you. It's like a brainstorming. So like if you know that cooking dinner is not going to work out for you, then who can provide freezer meals, or who can come over and prep some meals for you? What companies deliver food to your door? You write their contact information down, and you write down if you reached out to them and what their response was. So it's just a way of organizing the areas that you need the most help with yourself, with the baby, and with the house in those first few weeks or months. Those are the first 2 things we have. And then I also created a list of resources, which is basically all the books, all the websites, all the people, all the things that I found that are not specific to multiples, even though I have some of those too, but are specific to motherhood. The things that I read or I found or I listened to that were really helpful for me. And they kind of span the areas. There's information on breastfeeding. There's some postpartum depression links to like quizzes where you can actually take them and say, oh, I have some of these, I need to speak to my doctor, sort of a thing. There's basic information on links to nutrition and just a whole bunch of different things. And then I have 2 pieces of paper, and one of them is called It's Okay, and the other one is I Am. And this goes back to the visuals that you want to put around you, or the words that you want to put in your brain to be really, really positive, to shift how you think and to empower yourself so that your actions follow your beliefs in a positive way. And the It's Okay list is basically my list of things that I came to believe were okay about myself and my ability to mother. So I have things on there like, it's okay if when someone asks me, don't you love being a mother? If I don't always want to respond, because it's not all glowing and bubbles and gloriousness all day long. And that's okay. It's okay to be like, yeah, poop's really not that glorious. It's okay to, not want people to come over. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to not do the dishes. It's okay. Whatever is okay for you, you can add it to this list. And so that's just a way of you reassuring yourself that whatever you're feeling and whatever boundaries you have set for yourself as a mom, that it's okay, and it really is. And then the second list or visual is an I am list, and it's basically you verbalizing and writing down the things that you believe about yourself to help empower you and to help keep you in a positive frame of mind. So like mine says, I am capable, I am strong, I am an inspiration to my child, I am able to figure anything out. And I listed, I think, probably like 8 or 10, and then there's room for you to add your own I ams. And doing that is a really positive, empowering statement, because you have to believe it. You have to believe it, and the more that you say it, the more that you do it, the more that you're going to truly believe it in your heart. And so I wanted to provide something that you could do and then was tangible, but also just support you in a positive and uplifting way, because I think that new moms need all the support they can get, and it's out there. We'll give it to you.
Definitely. Those are some like extremely generous freebies. I can't wait to go and check them out. This is something that I love it that you gave us something tangible to really kind of work through, because it helps so much to just also have it in writing instead of just thinking about these things. So viewers, I want to remind you that all of the links that you need to connect with Luciana, like her website, her Facebook page, and the links to the page with all these freebies on her website, they're all in the email that you received with this video. So get out there, start filling these things out, and make sure that you connect with Luciana, because you are going to love every single second of spending time with her, even if it's just via phone or Skype. Like, she's that incredible. Like, soak her up while you can. And Luciana, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. You added incredible value. You added so much humor, and it's been an absolute joy getting to know you. I am so thrilled to have you for this expert interview.
Thank you. It was really fun. I had a great time. I hope it helps somebody, because, you know, it's 100%. This is who I am. This is what I love, and I hope that it really, really helps a new mom who says, no, you know what? I'm going to make it. I can do it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, I hope you have a lovely day.